Hello, all. Good Wednesday. Um, Raise the chair. Ooh. I think I'm at that stage where I need a regular nap because I just actually had one, and it was invigorating. uh, all this week we checked out the news. I haven't put up a 20 minutes of guitar. That's still a show that exists. Um, but like I said yesterday, I haven't. Man, I love this shirt, and it's shrank in the wash. It's shrank in the wash. Now I just look like a sausage casing in it, but it's more reason for me to fix my shizzle. I hope I can be heard. Do we want to check? Do you want to check? Let's check everything because you know what? I have faith in this streamer. I do. I do. I have faith. It's been pretty solid in the last few, but we still have to check. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So the latest news. Are we going to talk about the news? I don't know. Oh, turn the volume up. All right. All right. Oh, we should probably go over here and mute this. I need to come up with a proper. That's all the way up though. All right. Let's close this and go back to here. So I've been playing a lot with finger style, and I found 12th Street Rag. Oh boy, here we go. Hold on. What just happened? Ugh. Here we go. All right. Um, Shows for tomorrow's up. Remember, we're doing this every day. So we swapped over from the long form. Where is it? Boy. What is going on with my organizational skills? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So so YouTube has swapped out my settings for all black background, which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong. And it's just sort of throwing me because I mentioned it the last time. Now I'm remembering, but I totally freaking forgot it, and it just sort of tossed me. We did hear this, didn't we? So, all right. So let's mute this, and we can go back here, and then we can shut it down. Close. Hello, nerd. Do you want to do some news? All right, let's do some news. Uh, I went into like an awful rant yesterday. Shows are now like an hour and a half, but I went into an awful rant yesterday about politics. um, let's look at the news. Let's see if we can put it in any context. You got to be able to win these elections. You can't overthrow the will of the people. There's been a few too many of these. and they knew he was a bad dude, and they knew it forever. And all of a sudden, Pelosi's trying to be the best senator he can be. I don't care who primaries him. Someone should primary him. He's gotten entirely too arrogant and comfortable in Congress, and that's when you have a problem with him. That's when they'll start doing ridiculous stuff because they know they're not going to run for president, so they'll just sit there for 90 years. Right? Has America evolved enough? There is some anti-Semitical rhetoric in that, right? Has America evolved enough to elect Chuck Schumer president of the United States, right? I would say no. So I think he wants to be a senator forever. It's just like Clyburn. Has America evolved enough to make Jim Clyburn a congressman? But he does it every 2 years. But who do we got who's a senator? Tim Scott from South Carolina, right? One of the only black senators in the Republican Party. Has the Republican Party evolved enough to make him a presidential candidate? I don't think so. I think Obama was fluky AF, and I bought into it. I totally get it. This is why I'm not too hard on the Hillary Clinton women who would so. I totally got it. I was there 8 years earlier. I totally got it. My condition was with the candidate herself. So, I should have washed my face. I just woke up, poured a whiskey, and that was that. It's been a pretty good vacation week. I'm going to be sad to see it end. All right. Afghan, what? The Afghan thing is horrendous. You know how much money we spent there? This is what I mean. If that plan was that bad, someone in the Pentagon should pay a price. And you shouldn't just be moved out with a new president. It should go on your permanent record. South Carolina since 20,000. Okay, right. Really? 2013? That was 6 years ago. Right. Okay. This is his first full term. He was put there by the governor because someone died or went into the Trump White House. Let's look up Tim Scott. We should know we're talking. Oh man, I'm gonna sneeze. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. All right, I think I'm good. Oh man, it's lingering. It's stalking me. I've got to sneeze. It's like a horror movie. It's like it's in a house. Okay, hold on. All right, I think I did it. I think I talked myself out of it. Career: Scott ran in February 1995 special election at council city seat at large with Keith Summer, who resigned after he was elected mayor. Scott won the seat as a Republican, receiving nearly 80% of the vote in the white majority district, making him a star in the Republican Party, I'm assuming. He became the first black Republican elected to any office in South Carolina since the late 19th century. So that's the late 18. When you say late, if you said mid, it would be the 50s or 60s. So I'm going for the 1870s, right? So you're talking Reconstruction. That's a really nice way not to say Reconstruction. He became the first black Republican elected to any office in South Carolina since the late 19th century. I just saw that nerd. No, sometimes you can talk yourself out of it, which is a thing I like to do. It's sort of like how you can trick yourself, hypnotize yourself to believe in things. Like I had a friend who also did something weird with their sneezes. Every time they were about to sneeze, they would big themselves up. Which is, I was like, what? But I guess it would go every time, like, because it's a moment that happens rarely, right? So he's like, I don't know. I can do anything. I've got it. Here it is. And sneezing it sort of like brings it into fruition. He told me, I was like, that is the weirdest shit ever. But then I talk myself out of sneezes, right? Because sometimes it's not good to hold it because you could pop up the blood vessel, right? And sometimes you're not in a place to sneeze or because I used to be in the subway. Used to have you could take your dog on the New York City subway. as long as the dog is in the bag, no matter how big your dog is. So I had a duffel bag. Sometimes I had her on my shoulder to get her down the stairs. And then sometimes you just making sure that, because you got to sit her down, sit, and she wants to stand up in the bag. But she was a Belgian Mountain Watch. She's not a hand dog, right? So you have to sit her down, and then it gets crowded, and sometimes you just want to be like, right, or you sneeze into your bag or your arm or your your elbow. But sometimes you can be just kind of like, here's not the place for it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's like holding your pee. It always gets worse when you get really close to the bathroom. So you go, not, no, you're not. Yeah, but if you got to really go, see how we get all over the place. Yeah, you get there. Oh, you know what? We'll take a lovely detour from this, and we will show you pictures of. Let me put me up here for a second. We will show you pictures. Ooh, wait, hold on. Of the quirky New York City law that all of us dog people loved. Dogs. Hold on. Let's do it like this. Can then I'll give a definition. Can dogs go on subway? See, this way they'll tell you the rule instead of just saying yes. MTA rules state that pets are not allowed at MTA facilities unless enclosed in a container and carried in a manner which would not annoy other passengers. In comparison to other large metropolitan transportation, the MTA's language is vaguer than other cities, which only have specifics. All right. So let's get to it. Dogs on subways in bags. Look at him. He's adorable. There's a million of these things. I was one of these people. Oh, let me get me out of here. Look at this guy. He's so good looking. This guy. This is, yeah, sketchy AF, but still. This is a very famous one. Dog looking out like a pit bull looking out. This one's in an IKEA bag. It's the best stuff. It shows creativity. It shows, you're taking a guy like other than driving, the furthest I ever took Sydney was to not Cunningham Park, that's in Queens. Up the park in the Bronx. I forgot the name of it. And we had to get on the F train to connect to the A train, and the A train is a long ass ride. Oh, this is awesome. I never thought of that. You get a baby buggy and you put him in there. He's got two of them in there. That's fucking genius. See, I had my dog in something like this. An old army surplus bag. It was all black. That's pretty good. Yeah. It's a thing. I fully encourage, look at this guy. I fully encourage states, I mean, not states, but so much city municipalities to find a way to make a harmless law, quirky. I mean, they could rewrite this and ban it, but it's such a thing now. You would have, you know what I mean? Look at this guy. He's in a suitcase. Fit into bags. Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. I mean, there's got to be something good and quirky about your place, right? There's got to be. It can't all be by the rules corniness. That's against the American way, first of all. Isn't that great? Oh, look at this guy. I love it. Look at this guy. Yeah. Oh my God. See, we should have did this after the Tim Scott thing because this feels like dessert. All right, we might actually get back to this. But all right, Scott was elected city council. Okay, that's city council tenure. Scott served in city council, committee assignments, election tenure. Yeah, you don't just pick anybody to be a senator. Tenure. Scott was joined the Crutchfield Caucus. Wait, what? Was he a congressman? I thought he was a businessman that day. All right, hold on. Let's look at his pedigree here. All right. Charleston City Council, 3rd District. Member of the South Carolina House of Representatives. Okay, so he was South Carolina. Okay, so he was elected to state government, South Carolina House of Representatives. From city council to state government, U.S. Okay, to congressman, January 11th. He was a congressman for 2 years, preceded by Henry Brown. I'm afraid to even ask. Oh, okay, hold on. He's alive. Now I got to wonder why he gave the seat up. U.S. House of Representatives. All right. What? Why was he? Did he? Personally details. Member House of Representatives. The 21. South Carolina House of Representatives. U.S. House of Representatives. 2011. But he's alive, so there's no scandal. There's a forest fire controversy. Okay, that's bullshit though. Barack Obama 50% to close race. Brown lost badly in Charlotte, largely due to Barack Obama winning with 54% of the vote. Oh, okay. So he was out. He was just ousted. He sounds like a typical Republican. Human Society of the United States. I don't even know what that means. The Humane Society of the United States. I don't know what National Rifle Station. Okay, National Right to Life. Okay, Anti-Abortion Pact. Veterans Right. Okay, Focus on the Family. Family Values Right. Okay. U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The National Federation of Independent Businesses in South Carolina Seafood Alliance. I don't even know. They have a. Oh my God! Everybody. They take money from everybody. The district have been considered unwinnable for Democrats since the 1990s around the redistricting, shifting most of Charleston's black voters to the majority black 6th district. So you shove them all in, so all these people get one congressperson. Man, gerrymandering, I've said it before, gerrymandering is why this country is unfair. People who don't want to lose elections can draw their own districts and make your district smaller. So it's just sinister. Yeah. So I guess he got his clock cleaned, and then there was just a reshuffling because Barack Obama rode the wave of the. I mean, that Barack Obama thing is a thing. I could talk about that for an hour. Views, taxes, healthcare, earmarks, social issues, immigration, labor, foreign policy, police body cameras. Why is this still even a fucking issue? Environment, judicial nominees, President Trump, and race relations. That's not. All right. Well, all right. I know what I need to have an opinion on when I run for office. 2012 appointment. On December 17, 2012, South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, she's useless, announced he will appoint Scott to replace retiring Senator Jim DeMint. Okay, so Jim DeMint was retiring. That he will retire from Senate to become president of Heritage Foundation. Okay. Scott is the first African American U.S. Senator from South Carolina. He was one of 3 Black U.S. Senators in the 113th Congressional, alongside Mo Cowan. Okay. Is an American lawyer who served as a United States Senator from Massachusetts from February 1st, 2013 to July 16, 2013. For 6 months, he was a senator for 6 months. For 6 months. I guess someone died. I gotta look this up. Sometimes I'm too curious on my own good. Why the fuck? Professional U.S. Senate tenure. December 12th, President Barack Obama announced the nomination of U.S. Senator Foreign Relations John Kerry. Okay, so to serve as leaving a vacancy in the seat Kerry had held for 28 years. Under state law, the House of Representatives granted the governor of Massachusetts the right to fill the vacancy seat. Okay, good. U.S. Senate seat with an interim appointment. Governor Del Pragmatis, he would be looking out of the box candidate who had never run for office will hold the seat temporarily, forging a run in special elections. Okay. Wait. So is this is the one that what is her name? Trump called the Pocahontas. What is her name? And she lost to the dude who was a Playboy model. All right. See, special election. On January 3rd, Patrick announced the appointment of Common to the seat. Common became Massachusetts' second African American U.S. Senator after Edward Brooks. Good Lord. Was an American Republican politician, so he represented Massachusetts in the Senate from 67 to 79, one term. No. That's 11 years. So that's one term in 2 years. Okay. He served alongside Tim Scott. That's Tim Scott. The first time that two African Americans served simultaneously in the Senate. Wow. Really? Okay. Common's term officially began on February 1st, 2013, once Kerry's declaration took effect. He was sworn in by Vice President Joe Biden on February 7th. The term ended July 16th, 2013, when Ed Markey was sworn in the following special election. All right. So he got to be a senator for 6 months with his successor. Okay. Ed Markey, who I think is still there. During the he was appointed by Nikki Haley during the 2 periods, first from January 2nd, 2013 until February 1st, and again January 2nd to February 1st. So that's a year. That's a month, under a month, and again from July 16, 2013, the same year until October, which is 3 months. July, August, September, October, 4 months. Scott was the only African American senator. He and Khan were the first Black senators to serve alongside each other. Wow, really? Yeah, I'll tell you. Ask me again who won the Civil War. I have a totally different opinion on it. News media reported that Scott Representative Trey Gowdy former Senator Crown Attorney General Henry McAllister, former First Lady of South Carolina, Jenny Sullivan of Sanford and South Carolina Department of Education were all on Haley's shortlist to replace the men. On choosing Scott, Haley said, "It's important to me as a minority female that Congressman Scott earned this seat. He earned this seat for the person that he is. He earned this seat with the results he has shown." Okay, I can't hate on it. Right? Then he won it the second time around, because once you're there, it's fucking hard to dislodge it. Scott ran to serve the final 2 years of the midterm and won. He's okay. So she appointed him special. Then he had to run a special for the special election, and then he won his special election and got to finish out the 2 terms before the regular election kicked over for your regular 7-year term. Right. Okay. In January 2014, he signed an amicus brief in support of Senator Ron Johnson's legal challenge. To the U.S. Office of Personnel Management Affordable Care Act. Okay. So, all right. Elizabeth Warren, right. Okay, let's put this up. If you like dogs and bags, you will love goats in San Diego. We have goats everywhere eating shrubs. That's fine. I've seen that. They can eat 1 to 2 acres per day, every 200 goats. I have seen those. I have seen that. In August 2019, Scott said, "I plan to run for re-election. That will be my last one if I run." So he's saying he's not going to run after 2022, which is 7 years. That will make it 2029, and then you can just go cash in. Yeah, okay, no problem. Let's look up goats. Goats in San Diego. And that is bad. Keeping goats, San Diego. Fire prevention? Around 220 goats are helping San Diego Gas and Electric take a bite out of potential wildfires, ignition sources, and carbon emissions. The utility goats grazing pilot program utilizes, you know, this is shit is likely 10,000 years old, and everybody got away from it, and now you're going back to the beginning. Goats eating. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need more farming in those countries, less logging, and like small places where people can have a ranch of goats run through the countryside and eat some of the fallen stuff. How many goats would you need? That would be a lot of goats, right? That would be millions of goats. Look at these goats. Goats have such creepy eyes. Turn to hired hooves. KBPS, PBS, KPBS, KPBS. So this is what I know. When you're watching something that says W, it's the West, and if it says K, it's the East. So WKRP in Cincinnati is east of, I don't know what the magical line is. Do we even want to go down that road and look at what the magical line is? Environmental land management. Really? I'll be stopping and taking pictures, I guess. Natural weed whackers. Anaheim Fire Marshal Alan Haig says the steepness of the hill is part of the city makes the ghosts invaluable for landscape management. Yeah, they can get to places where your giant deer John Deere tractor can't. Freaking adorable. 200 of these things. And they eat that much every day. And they eat stuff with like thistles on it. Some of them are like camels, where camels can eat spikes off the cactus. Like they can eat thistles off branches without it bothering them. Oh, nice. Very cool. Goat's feet. Do we even want to look up goat's feet? Can we get a good shot of this? All right, they've got a thumb in the back of their hooves. I mean, I know there's a famous picture of goats like standing on a dam. I want to say it's not the Hoover Dam. Goats on a dam in USA. Yeah, this is Italy. I said the U.S. Where is the goats on a dam in the U.S.? Well, anyway, Torino. So ridiculous. Oh, well, maybe it wasn't America, but Jesus Christmas. The idea of it is amazing to me. Look at these guys. Look at this guy. He looks shocked. Good looking dogs though. We appreciate dogs. So yeah, have a little quirkiness in your city. So, you know, especially for pets, man. As long as people are responsible, this is how I usually had her. As long as people are responsible, man. But I always had her under my arm because I didn't want people be like her head behind me and people sitting either her licking someone in the face or people in New York are ridiculous. And he's out. Then I've also seen this the dog completely out. But you can see the bag is right there. Some people just take him out of the bag. Franklin Ave. Look at this dude. This is not New York. You can tell immediately, but that's a pretty fucking great picture of a dog. And this is bad for dogs. Dog on an escalator, you better hold them. Oh, look at this little guy. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. Oh my gosh. This is not Madrid. This is New York. It looks like it's West 4th. Washington Heights, my old stop. All right, let's stop looking up Brooklyn landmarks and dogs, for God's sakes. The Taliban, and we're back to the grim news of the day. Arizona lawmaker resigns after arrest in child sex abuse case. What is wrong with people? I mean, the arrogance of that, and then they run for office like no one's gonna know about it. It says you're mentally freaking crazy. Yeah. Let's close this. Two Georgia basketball coaches have been charged with murder in the death of a 16-year-old girl who died following an outdoor practice. Really? So you charge the teacher with murder, but all these cops you're gonna let slide? It's ridiculous. Ugh. All right. How come there are no pictures of the proposed bad people anymore in papers? Two Georgia basketball coaches have been charged with murder in the death of 16-year-old girl who died following an outdoor practice in extreme heat. Ugh, oh boy. A Clayton County grand jury recently returned an indictment charging La Rosa Maria Walker hyphen Esseker and Dwight Broom Palmer with second degree murder and second degree child cruelty, involuntary manslaughter, and reckless conduct. See, this is me being thinking about all the angles, but I think this. Oh, here they are. I think this is to shore up the school that hey, they acted wrong. The school did not act wrong, right? The school can't indemnify them for this. Uh, but yeah, that's a lot of throwing weight at people who, unless they had a giant criminal record, were always assholes, right? Um, it's convenient. You just leave it in the hands of two people, and you can remove yourself from it as a board of, I guess. But come on, man. This is my thing. When you look at all these people running around and doing all the work, there's supervisors who look one way and workers who look another, right? Especially in sports. So all the coaches are not running, and a lot of them aren't fit. And they got you out here in like 110-degree heat doing laps and calling you a pussy because you won't do even more laps. While they're out in the heat, but they're not exerting themselves, right? So it's just, and then you put somebody in charge of people, and some people become arrogant and mean. And look, I'm important. I'm ordering you around, and then sometimes that goes bad. A few years back, they had to arrest these people who killed a kid in a group home, and there's a video of them holding them down in this heat, and he struggled. They arrested like 9 of them, a couple of nurses, right? Like you make it worse. The charge are in connection to the August 2019 death of Imani Bell, an elite Scholars Academy student who died after members of the girls' basketball team practiced outdoors in temperatures that reached the high 90s. Walker Esker was the head basketball coach, and Palmer was an assistant. According to the family attorney, Justin Miller, both were at the practice and have been in charge of the children. At press conference on Wednesday, the family attorney thanked the district attorney for bringing charges. The incident in question did not have to happen, Miller said. Court documents do not list attorney for Palmer or Walker Esker, and they could not be reached at phone numbers listed for them. In February, Bell's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the school administration and said the team was doing a conditional drill when Bill collapsed, and after running up the football stadium steps. Why? The suit said that high school juniors started experiencing early signs of heat illness and was visibly struggling to physically perform the outdoor conditioning drills. She was told to continue practice, it's alleged. Bell was struggling so much that she had to hold onto the railing to remain upright. As a mining near the top of the stadium steps, she suddenly collapsed and lost consciousness due to the extreme heat and humidity. School officials took the teen into the building and called 911. She was taken to the hospital and died of heat-related cardiac arrest and kidney failure. According to the suit, an autopsy by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation found that her death was attributable to heat stroke caused by strenuous physical activity in extreme heat. Duh! People are idiots. I can't. Let's look up the symptoms of heat stroke. These are people's children. Heat stroke. Symptoms of heat stroke. High body temperature or core body temperature 104 or 40 degrees Celsius or higher. Obtain what is your regular body temperature? 96? 90, 96.8, 98.6? I always forget. 98 point. I always think it's a radio station. 98.6. What did I say? 96.6? Heat stroke death are the worst. That poor baby suffering. Yeah. Oh. Whew. All right, so we have a rise of body temperature of like 8 degrees, right? Altered mental state, alternation in sweating, nausea and vomiting, flush skin, rapid breathing, racing heart, headache. Heat symptoms caused at the Met Clinic. Yeah. Humble High South football player dies after collapsing from heat stroke. I mean, when I skated in New York, I always had a giant bottle of water with me. Always. Some to just pour on my face and get the sweat off of me. But usually just people do not drink enough water. And I ran back then, I used to run in the heat, sweat all that shit off out of you. But I always had water. And I would freeze, like I would keep 2 water bottles and I would freeze one overnight, half filled, and then pour water in to fill it up. And it was then wrap it in my I always have these face cloths, which I use as sweat towels, wrap it in that like neatly, and that would make it stay cold. You can have it all day, almost all day anyway. But people in the heat will get a beer, will get a whiskey, right? And then before you know it, you're sweating and dehydrating yourself. What's the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke? Both heat exhaustion and heat stroke are serious conditions. Heat exhaustion begins with general muscle weakness, sudden excessive sweating, nausea and vomiting, and possible fainting. A heat stroke is when your body internal temperature reaches over 103. They should have taken her to the girl's shower and threw her under some cold water. That doesn't shock the system though, but it'll cool her down a lot. Really? Right. Those are the hottest places on you. Let's put what you said up. Right. So, yeah, like, well, okay, maybe sweating out the toxins is the wrong thing to say. But I generally meant was like opening your pores because the thing about those days I remember one was that my skin was amazing just because my pores was always open and sort of getting all the like the surface skin crap out. That's what I meant. But you know what? Back in the day, I had friends who used to go and have their intestinal lining taken out, all these weird kind of like cleansings. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'll just keep working out. Uh, yeah, I mean, it looks like they need to cool her down and get her like you said, her fluids, like almost like a car engine, back in alignment. Cause man, I mean, she was sweating intermittently. I mean, her whole system was sort of like in stutter, start, kind of like you got to like kind of knock that out. And I've been around several people with heat stroke. Like I said, we used to, oh, a lovely diagram. Let's look at it. This is good for all of us to know, especially in August. Heat stroke and people drowning every summer, man. Heavy sweating, weakness, cool, pale, clammy skin, fast, weak pulse, possible muscle cramps, dizziness, nausea or vomiting, and fainting. Heat stroke. First aid, move to a cool environment. Really, what is going on with this? Oh my God, this mouse is becoming a pain in the butt. Uh, Good Lord. All right. This is not, my mouse is not responding. It's sort of having its own issue. Move person to a cool environment. Lay person down and loosen clothes. Oh, look, what is that? Lay person down. Oh man. All right. Lay person down and loosen clothing, which is do a tie and undo the belt. Put the feet up and loosen the shoelaces if you can. Apply wet cloth. Yep. To as much of the body as possible. Fan and move victim to air conditioning room. Offer water. If person vomits more than once, seek immediate medical attention. Heat stroke. Altered mental state. One or more of the following symptoms: throbbing headaches, confusion, nausea, dizziness, shallow breathing. Body temperature above 103. Jesus Christmas. Brain begins to cook at like 103, 104. So your brain begins to swell, right? Hot, red, dry, or moist skin. That's hard to tell because you are sweating. Rapid and strong pulse, easy. Faint, loses consciousness. Ice packs. Yeah, yeah. It just sounded too. It sounded too out there for me. That I was like, yeah. If I can't run, like if I can't do it in stuff that I have at the house, sneakers and like some running gear, I don't want to go and have a doctor do it for me. I'm like, it's just close to this. First aid, heat stroke is he's my heat stroke is a severe medical. Call 911, get the victim to the hospital immediately. Move the victim to a cooler, perfect air conditioned environment. Reduce body temperature with cool cloth or bath. Yeah, dump them in like water. Use fan. Do not give fluids. Really, heat exhaustion. It's so bad. I mean, she was a young girl. She was in high school. Oh, first aid for it. There's a nice picture. Groin, armpits, side of the neck. Ugh, so bad. And the older you get, the harder it is to sort of have your body adjust itself in the heat like that. Taken to the hospital by Georgia Bureau of Medicine found that her death was attributed to heat stroke caused by strenuous physical activity and extreme heat. The heat index that day for the Long Johnbury, where the school is located, was between 101 and 106 degrees. So, yeah, it was the high 90s, but it felt like it was 106 degrees. According to the lawsuit, Jonesboro is about 20 miles south of downtown Atlanta. A heat advisory had been issued for the area. The suit stated the attorney faulted the defendants for not taking the weather into consideration. Dude, you are creatures of the weather. How do you not? I'm always looking at the sun and da 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 da. It's not weird. And I tell you, you should have some respect for some of this stuff, like the forest fires in some places and like flooding. I always pay attention to flooding advisories because they happen like this. You know what I mean? And people just kind of don't. I mean, it's 106 degrees. Why are people doing regular? That's the day you go inside and you drill on the plays in the book to make sure everybody knows their position, they know their plays. That would have been a basic recognition on the part of the coaches. It's basically common sense. Exactly. When you see someone in distress in high school temperatures, but then they want to think everybody's faking. You just weak. You just crying. One more lap, right? And then all of a sudden you pass out, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God. No, and now I got to call 911. Right? It's like you've seen this arrogant bravado like with cops recording, right? Like the last one, what's that boy that they were laughing about? And then they say he went to cardiac arrest and died. And they were still at the scene. And then the cops caught them in the middle of laughing on one of the guy's body cam. He walks over to him, the fool who made the arrest, instead of talking about a car with another cop. And they're laughing. He goes, yeah, he went cardiac. And he's DOA. And they're like, well, yeah, oh yeah. Then all of a sudden they realize, oh shit. The guy that now we're gonna have to answer a lot of questions. He wasn't faking, and now he's dead. And what do we have to say for ourselves? Okay, first of all, everybody give me your body cameras right now. Good Lord. First of all, you should be able to cut those damn things off. But I mean, remember they would beat confessions out of people in interrogation rooms, and that was the first place they didn't want cameras, and that was the first battle to put cameras in every single interrogation room in the country. And then I think 10 years after that, technology became that everybody could have a body cam. Then they were like, why don't all these cops have body cameras, right? A heat advisory has been issued for the area. Online policies. The organization says that outdoor practice are not to be held if a wet bulb globe temperature reading exceeds 92. The wet bulb globe temperature differs from the heat index because it takes into account temperature, humidity, wind speed, sun angle, and cloud cover. Okay, well, that's a damn good. It takes a lot of shit. The reading should be checked 30 minutes before practice and every hour during practice. The lawsuit states that on the day of the Bells practice, the defendant failed to check the reading. The suit remains ongoing. Bell's father, Eric Bell, is a coach at a nearby school. At Wednesday's press conference, he said he had canceled his practice that day because the wet bulb globe temperature reading was too high. So her father was a coach. How you gonna, man? You know, and here's the thing. This is what I mean by tragic accidents, but that doesn't mean that nobody's responsible, right? And I don't think that they should get as much time as someone who plotted to murder somebody. Even though they sort of skirted through their day, and so 25 years, no, but I don't know, 8, 10 maybe. But I didn't lose a kid. I just think our whole judicial system is incredibly unfair and ridiculously dark to random everyday people, and super light to like super rich and wealthy people. Yeah. It's 2021. It's been like 2 years since this incident. Her father was a coach. It's not clear if the coaches are still employed in the elite school academy. The district did not respond Wednesday's request for an update for their employment status. They were probably instantly suspended, unless they say we can have a hearing on you before your trial and you signed up for it, then they can fire you at any point. When asked for a comment on the lawsuit in charge, a district spokesman said the school system does not comment on personal matters or pending litigation, which is a bullshit thing. You should have to comment on shit like this due to school practice and protocols. That's a dodge. Yeah, that's a dodge. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, but yeah, too many of them use it. Let's cut this on. Woohoo. Don't do it to yourself. Oof, we still have cold water, but it's not ice water anymore. Anytime it's avoidable, though, that sometimes makes it more tragic. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like if you're driving fast and God forbid a kid steps out into traffic and you hit the kid, yeah, I mean, I don't think you're a evil person because you're driving fast and you hit this kid and yeah, you were speeding. You should, but it also is how fast were you going? Like if it's 35 and you were doing 45 in it, yeah, that's bad. But yeah, if it's 35 and you were doing 105 in it, that's completely different. Does that make sense? Yeah. 16-year-old dead and they can't comment. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I tell you, man, people get people get sort of arrogant in these positions. You see it all the time, especially with teachers and students. Right? Every now and then, uh, it happens. It happens in humans, right? It happens in all the groups. Uh, Occasionally happens in the military where the drill sergeant especially hates somebody. Um, right? That's why I'm not military or anything, but I know that there's a law saying that like your commanding officer can't punch you in the face, right? He risks a lot by hitting, and it's also sets a bad precedent. But people dislike people, so you run extra laps and cut more potatoes, and then like just like other people will take a liking to you. I like you. You're assigned to me, and then before you know it, you're rising through the ranks. There's both of that on both sides. Um, is there any more news? Cuomo. Yeah, we cover Cuomo a lot. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of how to make this daily thing a little more interesting. And I don't really know how. My nephew told me I should get a metal detector and go to the beach, and I'm seriously considering that. At first, I snickered at it. Oh, you hate peeling and cutting potatoes? You know, I love potato. Potatoes are one of the simplest thing to cook, and I don't have a knack for it. I don't have a knack for it. But you don't have to take the peels off though, right? You can don't they call it dirty mash? You can have like mashed potatoes, or you can have fried with the peels on. So you don't have to peel mashed potatoes. You don't have to peel mashed potatoes. You don't have to peel mashed potatoes. All right. You don't have to peel potatoes to mash them, and you don't have to peel them to fry them. And like garlic and potatoes are two things you don't have to peel, and carrots, three things you don't have to peel. Brushing with a like run them under water and brushing with like a cooking brush or a cooking brush. Uh, what is this? The vegetable brush? Thank you. So I've been practicing a lot. So I think what I need to do is go back to learning the notes because then I think I was not Tennessee Ernie Ford. I was watching Roy Clark, Roy Clark from Hee Haw. He was playing 12th Street Rag. And I was like, I can probably get that down in a month. But yes, was it Roy? It is Roy, right? Um, let's play you what I was looking at, which I really like. All right, so let's go over here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna copy this. We're gonna come over here. Oops. Place this here. And then we're gonna go over here. We're gonna here. And then we're gonna pick up this here. We're gonna place this here. All right, so let's shrink this down and swap us out and go. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. I get free TV on everything now. I grew up when there was just 3 channels. Now there's Two Strings. Look at how fast his hands are moving. I'm hoping that this won't get me a strike. Look at how fast his fingers are moving. Like, you watch him as a kid, you don't really realize how good a musician some of these people are until you grow up. Then he kicks it up a lot more. Don't want to mess up his hair. I love this part. He doesn't know how to take it off without messing up his pompadour. So let's go here now. So this is what he just played. Two Strings. All right, maybe that's enough of that. Whose is this? Doesn't mean he won't freaking strike you with a crunch. All right. I gotta watch how much of other people's stuff I play. But yeah, I mean, Two Strings. Look at that. That was beautiful. Yeah, he died. Was it 2018? Yeah, I think you're right. It was before COVID, because they would have said he died of COVID. Roy Clark. I used to love Hee Haw. It was just such a goofy, weird ass. Yeah, 2018, November. Roy Linwood Clark. Runs here from 1969 to 1971. In syndication from 71 to 93. I think I saw the original broadcasting of it, because I'm not a spring chicken. Woo, look at him. Clark was born April 15, 1933 in Marin, Virginia, one of 5 children born to Hester Linwood Clark and Lillian Clark, nee Oliver. His father was a tobacco farmer, and weren't they all? Tobacco or cotton, baby. He spent his childhood in Marin and New York City. Wow, what? I didn't expect that to happen. He spent his childhood in Marin and New York City, where his father moved the family to take a job during the Great Depression. You went to New York City? Well, okay, yeah. All right, how about that? When Clark was 11 years old, his family moved to a home on First Street, Southeast in Washington Highland neighborhood of Washington, D.C., as his father found work in Washington Navy Yard. Clark's father was a semi-professional musician who played banjo, fiddle, and guitar. Hey, he played banjo, fiddle, and guitar. and his mother played piano. Nice. See, this is what you want to get. You want to, even if it don't pay off for you, you want to give the gift of music to your kids, right? Whew. But I don't really know what semi-professional musician means. Does that mean someone who has to keep a job in the daytime, but then plays in a band at night for money? I guess, right? Not. I guess a professional musician is music is all you do. All right. Um, he picked up elementary school. Heston Clark taught his son to play guitar when Roy was 14 years old, and soon Clark was playing banjo, guitar, and mandolin. I love a mandolin. Really want to get myself one. Guitar was my real love, though, Clark said later. I never copied anyone, but I was certainly influenced by them, especially by George Barnes, an American swing jazz guitarist who played the first electric guitar in 1931. He disputedly made the first commercial recording of an electric guitar on March 1st, 1938. It's disputed in a section with Big Bill Broonzy. Such was his down home style of playing. He was once, hold on, I'm going down a rabbit hole with guitarists. Woo! All right. Born, where's that leading? Commercial electric guitar on 38. Boozy was American jazz who played the first electric guitar in 1931. You just said that was disputed. Oh no, he disputedly made the first commercial recording March 1st, 1938, in session with Big Bill Boozy. Oh, was an American blues singer, songwriter, and guitarist. His career began in the 1920s when he played country blues to mostly African American audiences. Through the 1930s and 40s, he successfully navigated a transition in style. Okay, we're gonna have to look that up too. I just want to read the first, because all these lookups are the first paragraphs generally. Uh, he once mistakenly described as a great Negro blues guitarist from Chicago. Okay. Now we cut to the great Negro blues guitarist. Where is he from? Because mostly African American artists. August. Style to more urban blues around popular, urban blues sound, pop up with working class African American on. Yeah, give the people what they want. Why would you keep playing the same thing if you're trying to sell music? When he played country blues to mostly African, he played country blues. Country blues is one of the earliest forms of blues music. The main solo vocals were acoustic finger ska, comedy, the southern rural United States. Okay. Blind Lemon Jefferson, Charlie Pat. Oh, come on, man. So I'm calling this country blues thing early. What's her name? Papa Man. Who's that? Billy Ray. Not Billy Ray. Billie Holiday, right? Her early stuff, first recordings, early 30s, right? We want to say that. And then urban blues is a musical genre of music from which over in the deep south, United States, in the 1860s. Urban blues, wait, okay, country blues and urban blues. Spiritual, but they all incorporate spiritual work songs, field holler shout outs. So how come that isn't country blues? All right, well, all right. I guess I'm gonna have to look up both of these titles because I'm confused about them. In 1950s, he returned to his traditional folk blues roots, made him one of the leading figures on the emerging American folk music revival. Hey, Woody Guthrie, an international star. Nice. His long, varied career marks him one of the key figures in the development of blues music in the 20th century, and I don't know who he is. Big Bill Broonzy. Broonzy in 1951. Born 1903, disputed. Lake Dick, Arkansas. No giggling, please. We're all adults here. Died in 58 at 55. Music songwriter, sharecropper. Sharecropper is a legal agreement with regard to the agricultural land in which a landowner allows a tenant to use the land in return for shares of the crop produced on the land. Yeah, a way to get robbed. No one sharecrops anymore. Man, All right, George Barnes, 1919. Yes, 1977. 56. 21. Wow. So he had been essentially apprenticed to Broomsey because he outlived him about 20 years. Music. In 1960, Clark began touring with the Rockabilly stars Wanda Jackson playing back. By the way, you want a great documentary? Excuse me. You want a great documentary? Watch Country Music by Ken Burns. Blues is great. Blues is all interesting, but it's sort of sad, I think. But the country music one is really, it's hard to say which one is better. He makes such good documentaries. I must have saw Civil War a million times, but his musical documentaries, this is how I know I gotta learn to play an instrument. I mean, yeah, you got to watch it. Due to complication of pneumonia. Yeah, dude is great. This is a sad thing about racism in country music. A lot of that shit was started by black folk, right? And shame on you for not knowing that it's not everybody. Some of these guys are awesome, and he's one of them. I grew up. My dad is from the South, and I grew up liking country music because he played country music, but he was also a kid in the '50s, right? So I also like doo wop because he played doo wop. I like gospel music, not crazy about gospel, but because my mom played gospel music, right? There was soul music in the house, so you learn all these musical styles from the people who came before you, and I'm sure some of the stuff that was being played was stuff that my dad liked, that my grandfather played, right? Of now, everybody just listens to one thing. It's rock music, it's rap music, hip hop, or it's pop music, which are the two giant ones. And both of those are just not really few of those are interesting, I find. But you should still know more. It will paint how you make your music, right? Wow, that is a perfect name. That is a fucking perfect name. I think you might have nailed it. I wish I could double like this. Yeah. Yes. That is perfect. That is perfect. You're absolutely right. So late in 90, he had a hit song as a pop vocalist. Yesterday when I was young, and Thank God and Greyhound. And his instrumental skill had an enormous effect on a generation of bluegrass country musicians. He became a member of the Grand Ole Opry in 1987 and tuned out with him to the Country Music Hall of Fame. See, this is what happens when you raise a kid to make music. I mean, they're talking about how his instrumental skill had, you know what I mean? You learn it from somebody who you love and who loves you, and you don't even know how good you're getting at it. And that's everything. If you're a writer and you teach like, here's the thing I've noticed: my friends who are teachers, their kids are really smart, really intelligent. School is no problem for them, just because their parents are teachers, right? And I mean, they're intelligent. They're quizzical in nature, so you can pass some of this stuff down. So the question becomes, what are you passing down? Instead of all this, I hate kids stuff, which I just find freaking abhorrent. Oh, I'll plug that in later. Yeah. Whew. Music is in everybody, man. You got to get it out. Wow. And what an eclectic life. So he went from Virginia to New York City, right? To Washington, D.C. Same professional musician, fiddle banjo player. I want to see, you know, he was going into music. So Clark's father was so George Barnes loved his style. Clark was found inspiration, DC musician. Clark said in 1985, when I started playing, you didn't have many choices to follow. And Earl Scruggs was both of them. That's pretty good. Clark won the National Banjo Championship in 1947 and 48, and believe he toured with the band when he was 15. See, he was performing. Look at this. He won. Oh my God. That's amazing to me. Let's see. 33, 47, and 48, right? So he's born in 33. So he was 15, 14, 15. And he won awards playing the banjo, but he's a hell of a fucking guitarist too. So he was great at the banjo, but better at the guitar. Career. Rising country music star Jimmy Dean. I love his sausages. Was an American country music singer, television host, actor, and businessman. Sausages. He was a creator of Jimmy Dean sausages brand, as well as the spokesman for his TV commercial. He's a distant cousin of actor James Dean. Okay. Yeah, oh my God. I think you just renamed my show. You really did. I have to call by Doc. Oh, thank you for coming through. We've been streaming for an hour. And we're about to end it in 15 minutes because they don't run like they used to. But man, now I'm thinking about, you know what, Jimmy Dean sausage mixed with your gravy, not your gravy, your ground beef, where you're gonna make like spaghetti, not like ground beef and spaghetti in your sauce. Trust me, you'll thank me for it later. Try it. I want to thank Nurse Blondie for coming and hanging out. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty good. I love sausage and ground beef together. The sausage takes a little longer to cook, but you know the way I do it, and then you throw in the sauce and a little white wine, some whatever seasonings you got in there. It becomes a nice little stuff. The Provence stuff. Then throwing coin sausages. I overly meat my stew because I'm a home cook and I can. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna wait. Ooh, when does sunset? When is sunset?
Sunset will be at 8 p.m. today.
8 p.m. All right, so that is 10 minutes. We're gonna hang out till sunset, and then we're gonna call this one, put in the books, and I will see you tomorrow with a new name. Thank you, Nurse Blondie. I think you're right about that. I mean, I think it might be one thing that I add to what we're doing here to get me out of the house, but I don't think it's going to replace this. Wow. So now I'm hungry. What do I have in there? I still have mashed potatoes. I have string beans, and I have meatloaf. Meatloaf. I totally love talking to you, Blondie. Totally love talking to you. You make doing this thing super fun. You're my unofficial co-host whenever you show up. I love it. Well, we don't even have to read much more because I thought they were going to have an actual, but it's not really. It's more like anecdotes. Clark's father, right? And then it starts. Clark was shy and turned to him as a way of easing his timidity. The writer about Clark Scooby, leaving him socially isolated. Clowning around, he felt himself to fit in again. All right, so everybody else wanted to be a rock star, but he wanted to be a country music star. Yeah. Look, I got to tell you guys, you got to watch Ken Burns' country music. It's got to be Ken Burns country music. It's just the best stuff. Walmart. Is it playing on? Is it streaming on anything? It's got to be like on Amazon, or it's not on Netflix. Hulu maybe. Huh. I don't know. You got to watch it. It's just the best. Let's check some images from it. It's so comprehensive. This black and white stuff. It gets into the 70s stuff where I remember. I love Dwight Yoakam. Yeah, he did. And look at this picture. This is just a beautifully orchestrated picture with Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr. Right, who died at like 28. I mean, look, yeah, it's good stuff. This is, I highly recommend it. Please go get it. Take care of yourself, Blondie. I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Remember, we're here every day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30. I'm gonna go and watch some country music and probably fiddle with my guitar. Exactly, exactly. I love it. So yeah, we may have found a new name. All right. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. I want you all to have a good night. I guess I wanted to hang out and wait for the sun to set, but I got to tell you, like the sky's blue, and then there's another cloud that is exact color as the sky, but the only way you can tell the cloud is because the sun has lit up the edges of it in this whiteness. You know what I mean? It's just look, nature is important, guys. Go out in it and get some. Life is not all about air conditioners. I think we might be here officially. Maybe we'll do the show. It starts at 6:30 until the sun sets. The sun officially sets, right? Down the rabbit hole until the sun officially sets. Um, so we're going to be here for a few more minutes. Ken Burns country music. You know, it's probably playing on your country music. You know, it's probably playing on your PBS station because it's a PBS film. PBS. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't. Country music. There you go. It doesn't shy away from some of the unpleasantness in the radio. Look at Dolly Parton. She's adorable. She's awesome. Um, Ray Charles, right? Ray Charles did gospel music, country music, and pop music. Mandolin, playing to the chickens. Back when because there was no TV, so you gathered around the radio, and most people played something or did it with. Not everybody was great, but most people did something. Ooh, I wonder if we can have a watch party of this. How would I do that? Full length, an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 13 minutes, an hour and 12 minutes, an hour and 3 minutes. Sons and daughters of America. See, country music reflects a changing America. Well, a changing America. An hour and a half, hour and 10, hour and 40, 73 to 83, 70, 68 to 72, 64 to 68. When do they start it? The beginnings to 1933. So I want to say the beginnings was what, the 20s? And the last one, country music live at the Ryman concert. Joints up from. Remember, country music, I hate to say it, but was dying. Don't tell anybody. Rap music makes hundreds of billions a year, and country music makes like 100 million a year or something. Um, music genre revenue. If that thing will happen again. Yeah, it will. All right, so let's go. What genre of music makes the most money? Pop music obviously sells the most. The most consistent hip hop, rock, country, the main genres. Man, you can't ask one simple question without. I mean, sometimes I want to delve completely into it, but sometimes I just want hot statistics on this thing. Rock, R&B, alternative, country, hard rock, rap. Whoever put this one together is obviously high on something. Rock, R&B, and hip hop. This is a better one. All right, so let's put this one up. Oh, did I shut it down? I did shut it down. All right. Ooh, we got a couple of minutes before the sunset. So let's look at this. Let me get myself out of there. So look at this rock. I mean, I don't know how old this one is, but this one doesn't look rock music. I can't name you a rock band right now that isn't 40 years old. Classical 2%, jazz is 2%, seasonal, I don't even know what that means. Christian gospel, EDM, Latin, country is 10%. Pop music is only 19%. I don't believe this at all. What? This is and this one says rock and country music are 30. This one says country music is bigger than hip hop music. 6%. What? Hold on. Some of this doesn't make any sense. Country is 1%. This says pop is 49. This is, but then this says EDM is electronic dance music is 60%, which is essentially disco. This seems large, considering how big the population is. Well, is this global? Billy Joe. The most popular music genre in every state. All right. All right. I guess I'm not gonna be able to find it. Let's shut this down. What is this over there? Let's close this. Yeah, the sun is setting. It's time to exit. I'm gonna thank everyone for coming through. We've been streaming for an hour and about 22 minutes. I want you to have a good night. I will see you tomorrow, and we will slide down another rabbit hole. I want to thank all of you for excuse me. I want to thank everyone for coming through. I'm going to get a meal in me and figure out the next step tonight. All right, guys. Let's get this, close this one up. Yeah, I think we're done looking up stuff, and the sun is setting. What time is sunset?
Sunset tomorrow will be at 7:59 p.m.
Yep. All right, so it's 8 o'clock, which means the sun has set, and our next sunset is tomorrow at 7:59. Every day it gets short. Every day the days get shorter, and your memory gets longer. Isn't that the line from that song? Right Now by Van Halen. Right? Is it Van Halen? Right Now is by Van Halen. Right now is your tomorrow. Right now is if some of the right now your government is doing things that you only think other governments do. They had all it's just a great video. Lil Baby teases Drake collab, like music is surprises key to music hit making, researchers say. None of this is interesting anymore. Music is hitting like a oh, did I not have this up? Oh, Lord. Yeah, Right Now by Van Halen. But we're not gonna play it because who needs to be banished? Sorry about that. That's my fault. Who needs to be banished? Stop presenting. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, us are over for this evening. We will see you in the next one. The next one is tomorrow. We may shift the title. down a 20-minute rabbit hole, maybe. I like 20 minutes in the time. I will figure it out. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next one. Peace.